Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two Canadian blended whiskeys, one with no age statement, one with an age statement. Okay. Well, this got a handle on the back, so I can hold it up. This is a big old, what they call handle bottle. I got this for $4.99 plus the two glasses, one of those holiday gift packs that Winn-Dixie had left over. They had the cheapest price, actually. Just the bottle without glasses at other stores was $45.99. So I saved $1 and I got two glasses. Is that a cheap price? No, but then it's a premium Canadian blended whiskey. So you pay a price. You want it cheap? You can get handle bottles like this for cheap. I got one. Well, not pretty like this with glass, the beautiful glass and a nice label. No, you can get a cheap plastic one for $10.96 at Walmart. Save about $34. I went to Rouse's and they had a Canadian blended whiskey caliber for $5 and the handle bottle on closeout. Now, that's coming, but that's another story. Now, here's the competitor. Gibson's Finest Rare. It is rare around here, okay? In Louisiana, you just do not see this in the stores. They did have it at Savannah Discount. The huge, beautiful glass handle bottle, Gibson Finest. All right. They had these. It's got a wooden cap, not plastic like Crown Royal, but a wooden cap with the cork. So it's pretty. It's nice. It's attractive. It's classy. All these things. The price, you might find this to be hard to believe, and you might think I'm lying. But honestly, I have no reason to lie. Even if there is no reason to lie, you shouldn't be a liar. Don't be a liar. 12-year aged. Listen, Savannah Discount had this for $9.99. True story, $9.99. Couldn't believe it. Still kind of find it hard to believe, but I figured that's the greatest deal ever. I'm buying it. A huge glass, beautiful glass handle bottle. I put the website. Oh, I forgot to list who owns it. This is Diageo. And Gibson's is what's those people that make the scotch? They also produce a lot of scotch, but the one they produce around here is the Clan McGregor. Yeah, William Grant and Sons. They make the famous Grants. Or in some people's mind, I guess the infamous Grants. They don't like it. But I never tried Grant, so I can't comment. James P. Madonna said he likes it, so he seems to have good taste in things. So, okay, gold, amber, gold, typical Canadian whiskey appearance, nothing unusual there. Yeah, William Grant and Sons. If I remember, I'll go back and edit that. But I'll probably forget. Knowing me. Yes, people do watch these taste challenges, and a lot of them go back and watch them later. Now, those generalized hangouts like Super Inclusive Saturday, Wildcard Wednesday, Fandango Friday. I don't think too many people go back and watch replays of that. They're watching when they're live for something to do, like with all the low quality stuff on television. They say, well, I'll just listen to that. So I put websites below for the two companies, or they'll watch the hangouts. But to go back and watch one from months ago, I can understand there wouldn't be any interest in that. So I might have, like it might say 235 viewers that watched it that night. And they might have watched 10 minutes of it or whatever, maybe not the whole hour. A year later, I might check. Not that I really do that, but just let's say I check a year later, it might be 238. Maybe 3 more people watched it in a year. So that's what I'm saying. But these kind of things, these have a purpose, a taste challenge. It's a dedicated idea. So then you might have people over the next 5, 10 years watching it just because they want to see how they would match up. In my opinion, then you could do your own taste challenge. So here is Crown Royal. It's much darker, chestnut color, good brown color. This is gold. I poured a little too much, so I'll just rest on it for the next 4 hours. No big deal. I'm not in any rush to drink them. I've noticed that about some beer reviewers. They act like they're in a rush. Or whatever beverage, wine. You don't see too many wine reviews. At least I don't. Liquor, like, why are you in a rush? Like, what's the hurry? And so then you get that whole argument about pouring the beer in straight and makes a thick head of foam. And then they're all like, oh no, look at this foam. Look at all this foam. And I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, the foam is going to dissipate. All right. That's not like some kind of big deal. It's not like you're at a bar and you're drinking draft beer and half the glass is foam. So then you pay that exorbitant bar price anyway, right? You go to a bar, you're going to pay all kind of crazy money for a beer. Then it's going to dissipate and the glass is halfway full. Okay, that makes sense. You want to get your full money's worth. So, of course, the girl's going to tilt it and slowly pour it until the beer is at the rim. We understand that. If you had a good bartender, though, that had time, now, you know, they'd be very busy sometimes. They could pour it with all the foam, let it dissipate, and refill it. And it wouldn't be refilling it. It would be evening it out. But if you got a bottle or a can of beer, right, you pour it and it's half foam. What difference does it make? When the foam goes down, you pour and fill the rest of the glass and the can's gone. So 12 ounces is 12 ounces, all right? It's not going to, like, evaporate in a 10-minute video or less. So anyway, enough ranting about that. But that really just fascinates me that people would be so obsessed with foam in a beer. When it doesn't matter at all. Now, this taste challenge, I assume, and now yesterday was sort of even. Crown Royal and what was the other one I was going against? The Heir to the Throne. I guess Crown Royal was slightly better. Wasn't much better. I could tell it apart barely. Didn't much matter. Nobody's ever seen Heir to the Throne aside from me, apparently, in this whole world. I'm exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating much. I got it on closeout for $15.65. I think it was normally $35. That's why I was on closeout. People weren't buying it. No way. Okay, but I bought it for $15.65. That was the price I paid. So, yeah, it was a better value because you got it for almost $10 cheaper than the same size of Crown Royal. Okay, so Heir to the Throne's a better value. But that's only a theoretical consideration because you can't get it. Now, Gibson's you can get. In many states is very common. I think up there in like Wisconsin is very common. Well, that makes sense. It's close to Canada, but then it seemed like Crown Royal would be, well, I don't know. I don't know the answer. You know how this works. Some states get it. I'm talking about any brand. And in other states, you can't get it at all. Louisiana, get certain beers or can't get certain beers. Cross into Texas or Mississippi. There it is. Easy to get. So can't explain it. Smells sweet. Okay. Sweet and a little honey note. Now, I wanted to remember that. I said to myself, remember this, make a mental note. Can't look. I got to keep my eyes closed because of the difference in the tint. The honey, that's the Crown Royal, the honey. I don't recall Gibson's having any honey note. So I think that you want to use these little clues, and I preach the sermon and I don't follow it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the Pharisees. I demand people do what I'm not willing to do. But you know what? But I should do that. But mainly it's not intentional. I just forget. I forget the notes. I forget to use the notes. So honey, but okay. So that smells like Crown Royal. I think that's Crown Royal. Let's go over here though. Now you see, this is a little harsher, a little more woody, sharp wood. Now I don't know how long Crown Royal is aged. There's no age statement. I couldn't find anything on their website about how long it's aged. They don't, from what I could tell, discuss it. They show the barrels. And they'll say, we have the most, the largest collection of whiskey barrels in the world, or whatever they say. And in Canada, they stack them upright. In Kentucky, they roll them onto that rack. But in Canada, they're upright on pallets. Interesting way to do it, huh? Which one saves more space? I don't know. You have to talk to a logistician, logistical, somebody will calculate the logistics of that. That's what logistics is. The science of, the mathematical science of loading up a ship, saving the space. So I don't know the age, but I think the Gibson's being in the wood a minimum of 12 years. The youngest whiskey in this blend is 12 years old. That's the youngest whiskey, 12 years old. They always have to go with the youngest one. It gives it a lot of wood flavor. Although, got on my nose. My experience is that it wasn't that great of a flavor. Now that ticked some people off, like Shane Giggy, one of the Facebook friends, who's a member of Alcohol Legs. And I use that term, but he's very nice, and I like his commentary and all. But I mean, you got to use that term friends on Facebook very loosely, because it's not generally friends. It's people you don't know, and they'll interact with you, and you don't know what they'll do. Be hot today, cold tomorrow, Just had a recent experience with that. Very strange. But you don't know their mental, you know what I'm saying? If they have some mental health challenges, it could be that they have mental health challenges. I think that is the case. But he got a little aggravated that I didn't like Gibson's too much. And he was saying, that's so popular in Canada. It's like $65 a bottle for that size bottle. I said, well, it might be, I can't help that if it's $65 a bottle. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, it wasn't that great. And he was fine about it. Some of these people are really, like I say, mental health challenges. If you disagreed about a whiskey they love, they wouldn't be your friend anymore. Like I say, friend, use that in quotes. And they quit the group, Alcohol Legs. They say, well, that's sort of like a sick approach to living. It is. Unfortunately, what are you going to do? Social media, you don't know who these people are. It's like randomly going through the phone book. You don't know. Okay. But you do your best, try to be friendly, about all you can do, right? So let's go with the taste. They don't smell particularly similar. This one's got I don't want to say harsh, more stark wood. And this one's got this sweet and honey. So initially, I think Crown Royal and Gibson, but you could tell because you can see it. I got my eyes closed. I don't know which is which. You know before I know. Now, uploaded my Crown Royal review solo. Later today, I plan to upload the duo review. I have to skip over a few videos. They're not going to be chronological exactly, but it won't be too far off. Well, what does that taste like? Well, that's pretty basic. Basic. It tastes like standardized basic whiskey. Nothing bad, nothing remarkable, nothing unusual, nothing foul, nothing off-putting, just basic. If you let somebody taste that, they would say, that's just regular old whiskey. Maybe it's Canadian. It's got a little rye spice to it. People will say, and maybe rightfully so, I don't know for sure. I'm not a whiskey expert by any stretch of the imagination. I just taste them and do videos. No big deal. It's not important. Some people think it is. It isn't. But they'll say Canadian whiskey's bland. Like it's a whole style of whiskey from a country of 30 million people, and it's all bland. That's their opinion. I don't agree with that personally. I find that a lot of them are not bland at all. They have a lot of interesting flavors, but that's just what people will say. I've heard them say it. Oh, Canadian whiskey is so worthless, and I'm thinking, But if that's how they feel about it, I don't share that attitude, but okay. This seems to be a little sweeter. Honey. Uh-oh. Honey taste. Well, to say I'm a little unsure of myself right now would be very accurate, because I am unsure of myself. I don't know which is which. I would like to get it right, but there's certain things you can adjudicate, so to speak, by just doing this exercise. Now let's figure out that the price, let's go with the normal price, not the super duper sale price. I got $9.99. You're not going to find Gibsons in a big glass handle bottle for $9.99. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. If you live close to Savannah Discount like I do, it might happen, but otherwise it isn't going to happen. So we're talking about, so US dollars, probably $50 for that size bottle. So let's say 50 bucks. Crown Royal, 45 bucks. Now, so a $5 difference. And it's probably a $3 difference, or $2.50 for the standard 750 bottle. So it's a nominal difference. We're not talking about much price. There isn't much difference in price. The Gibsons be slightly more expensive in most cases. So is it worth it? I'm not seeing that. They taste not similar, but they taste kind of like on the same playing field. You know what I'm saying? They're like at the same quality level. It's like two different football teams. You say, well, one's in the American Football Conference, one's in the National Football Conference. Okay. You say, yeah, but they used to be in the AFC. They got moved to the NFC again. And you say, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. There's one team that was in both conferences, by the way. And who is that? There's only one team that started in the NFC, then went to the AFC, and then went back to the NFC. There's only one team in history. Went from the National Conference to the American Conference, back to the National Conference. But so let's say both teams are 9-7, and last year they were 8-8, and this upcoming season they're 9-7. You say, well, that's the same, right? So why would you pay more for the same? They got different styles. One is more run-oriented, one is more pass-oriented, and that kind of thing. But that's what we're looking at here. So what do you do when you're looking at something like that? You know what you do. I know what I would do. I would shop price. I just buy whatever's cheaper. I wouldn't care, because there's no appreciable difference in quality, which I'm a little surprised, because I've been ragging on Gibson's, talking bad about it. And I think that was fair, because I did find it a bit harsh and kind of biting and not so pleasant. But remember, when you do one whiskey against another, and then you do another one against another later, or the same one against another later, it'll bring out a whole different thought level or perception of it. They don't always taste the same one against a different one. And I don't know why that is, but it's true. Happens with beer too, but not as profoundly. I don't know. This one has a little sweetness also. Now, does the 12-year versus no age statement seem to make a difference here? No, I don't think so. Age is important, but it isn't everything. From my experience, you understand? From my experience. This one, however, does seem to be a little more woody. Got more wood component. Okay, got to think about that for a minute. This one has more rye component. I don't know. I'm confused, but let's think about this rye. I think the Gibsons had more of a rye. I call it a bite, because I think rye is a bite, like a mentholated bite. Peppery bite. Well, as you can tell, I'm having a hard time. And you say, well, that's it. The riddle's solved. They're at the same level. It's an even game. That's right. So just talk price. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to say this is Gibson's. If it says CR, I know I'm wrong. And that's a 50-50 shot, so that doesn't mean too much. I mean, I could just be totally wrong and have no clue, and I got a 50-50 shot. That's good odds, unless you're flying in an airplane. So it's even money here. Let's go and say Gibson's. If it says CR, I'm wrong, but I think it's going to say, it's not going to say CR. It doesn't. I got it. And I used those clues. You see those cognitive clues, those mental cues, if you want to call them a cue, they can help. That rye, I remember that sharp rye note, because I mean, you can see I've sampled a good 30% of this huge bottle now over the last 2 years. So I've had some experience with it. All right. And then I remembered that the Crown Royal had that sweet honey component, which in the nose was reversed, right? But this is a Dawn Buster's taste challenge. It's not a smell challenge. That's part of it, but it's ultimately a taste challenge. So in the taste challenge, yes, I could tell them apart. 2 days in a row now, I've gotten it right. I haven't gotten it wrong. Yeah, I got a long way to go. All right. I'd love to have a perfect record with Crown Royal. That would be a delight. Don't look for it to happen, but it sure would be nice. I could tell them apart. So does Crown Royal taste like Gibson Select? Not really. On the other hand, are they comparable? Yes. Is the difference profound? No. Is the price difference a big consideration? No, it isn't. So basically, it's an even game here. And you say, well, you keep repeating yourself. No, I'm just trying to break it down carefully. So if I was looking to buy Crown Royal or Gibson's, I would just pick whatever one I happen to want. And in my case, it would be based on price. You might say, well, I want the pretty bottle. Or I never tried Gibson's, I want to check it out. Fine. Then you'd even be willing to pay more, because it would make sense, you see. Yeah, look how dark. I don't even know why I needed tags. I forgot. They're dark. One's dark. All I had to do was look at the shade, the darkness or lightness level. I didn't even need tags. Oh, boy. Well, what's coming up Tuesday? God willing, I plan to do, well, I don't think this will be much of a challenge, but it sure will be fun. Oh, Tuesday, I forgot Monday. What about, because I do one a day, you know, you say that's 30 or 31 a month, or 28 in February. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I'm going to go and drink whiskey all day. No. I just do the little dabbling, and then I'm on to the Queen Elizabeth drinks gin every night. She's 94. Her husband drinks every day, not heavily. He's 99. Didn't seem to hurt them. You say, what about Princess Margot? She was younger than Queen Elizabeth. She died when she was 70. That's right. Why? Well, did she drink a lot? Yeah. And not a little dabble every day. I dabble every, you know, she was known to be a pretty heavy drinker. Sort of wild, like Queen Elizabeth's kind of trying to control her and not doing it very successfully. She kind of took after her uncle, Prince Edward, but real name was Dave. Everybody called him David. His real name was David, but King Edward VIII, sort of a wild streak, very wild. And heavy smoker. So both of them, King Edward VIII and Princess Margaret, his niece, heavy smokers. Putting one cigarette out, you know, this one's burning down, they're lighting the next one. You know what I'm talking about. Wake up middle of the night, sit on the side of the bed, smoke a cigarette. Might knock back a shot. You say, well, that's not healthy. Yeah, that's right. She was pretty enfeebled by the time she was 70, basically crippled, and seemed to not quite know where she was. You know, kind of not quite sure of her surroundings. So you say, well, you had a guy on your Hangouts that was that way, and he's 20 something or 30 something, bombed out of his mind. That's right. I deleted those videos because it doesn't look good. I almost kept them as like a cautionary tale. Like, this is what you don't want to do. But then people are going to take it like, oh, it's a joke. You know, you're just trying to use him as a prop to make fun of him and all. And no, I never would do that. But I just said, I told Dr. Dave, I said, man, that doesn't need to be on there. I mean, I can't help, I try to include everybody, you know, and he said, can I please be part of it? And I said, yeah, don't cuss, but he's still bombed out of his mind. He was going to cuss anyway, you know, but, which in a way gave me an excuse to say you can't join anymore. You did it 3 times, 3 strikes, you're out. But I didn't really want that. I mean, if he was in his right mind, not bombed out of his head on alcohol, talking, and he can talk sensible. He can talk sensibly when he's not, you know, off on La La Land. But anyway, that's so anyway, yeah, you want to avoid that. You want to avoid that. So dabbling a little bit every day, dabbling a little bit. In my case, may not be the same for you, but in my case, doesn't seem to matter. You know, it doesn't seem to bother me. I feel a lot better now than when I drinking alcoholic beverages than 20 years ago when I used to drink soft drinks all the time, Coke and all of that stuff. I used to feel bad. Now that's just and the food was the same, so that should tell you something. Okay, thank you for watching this video production. I got to do the Monday. I might do a Monday hangout later today for the Monday slot, because Monday usually be kind of tough to do. Thanks for watching this video production. There's no winner here. It's a tie 2 days in a row.